Commander Vexal stood before the Council of Seven Worlds, his 4 eyes fixed on the human prisoner in chains. The human called himself Marcus Webb, and he had committed the greatest crime imaginable in the Galactic Federation. He had refused a direct military order during the Battle of Kestor Prime. This human, Vexal announced to the assembled representatives, abandoned his post to save civilians. He disobeyed 3 commands from superior officers. For this disgrace, I recommend execution. The council chamber fell silent. Marcus stood tall despite his chains, his brown eyes showing no fear. The eldest of the council, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline shell, spoke in a voice that echoed like distant thunder. "We do not execute those who save lives," the eldest said. "But neither can we allow such disobedience to go unpunished. Marcus Webb, you are hereby banished to the outer gate of Threshold. You will guard the abandoned road that leads to the dead zones. You will serve there alone until your natural death." Marcus nodded once. "I accept." The outer gate was a crumbling fortress on the edge of known space, where 3 dead civilizations once met to trade. Now it was nothing but ruins and dust, sitting at the end of a massive stone road that stretched for hundreds of miles into territories so contaminated with ancient weapons that nothing could survive there. Or so everyone believed. They dropped Marcus at the gate with basic supplies, a shelter dome, water recyclers, food synthesizers, and 1 plasma rifle with 3 charge packs. No communication device, no transport, no hope of rescue. "You'll die here alone," Vexal told him as the transport ship prepared to leave. "That's what happens to humans who think they know better than their commanders." Marcus watched the ship disappear into the purple sky. Then he turned to examine his new home. The outer gate was larger than he expected, with walls that rose 50 feet high and stretched across the entire width of the valley. The ancient road beyond it disappeared into a wasteland of twisted metal and poisoned soil. He spent the first week making the gatehouse livable and studying the area. On the 8th day, he heard the sound, a high-pitched crying coming from beyond the gate, out in the dead zones. Every instinct told him to ignore it. Nothing lived in the dead zones. Nothing could. But the crying continued, growing weaker each hour. By sunset, Marcus made his decision. He loaded his rifle, put on his environmental suit, and ventured out onto the ancient road. 2 miles into the wasteland, he found them. 3 small creatures huddled behind a collapsed transport vehicle. They looked like a cross between wolf pups and reptilian lizards, covered in soft blue-gray fur with large, terrified eyes. Their mother lay nearby, dead from radiation exposure. Marcus's suit sensors screamed warnings. Lethal radiation levels, toxic atmosphere, corrosive particles in the air. But these creatures were somehow alive. He checked them with his scanner and found something remarkable. Their biology was adapting in real time, evolving to survive the hostile environment. He couldn't leave them. Against all logic, against all sense of self-preservation, Marcus gathered the 3 cubs into a shielded container and carried them back to the gate. He spent the next 2 days treating them with the medical supplies from his kit, feeding them, keeping them warm. The cubs survived. More than survived, they thrived. Within a week, they were playing around the gatehouse, chirping and wrestling with each other. Marcus named them Scout, for the one who always explored first, Guard, for the one who stayed close and protective, and Spirit, the smallest one who seemed to sense danger before it appeared. Marcus discovered something else. The cubs weren't just animals. They were intelligent. They learned to understand his words within weeks. They helped him repair parts of the gate. They brought him things he needed before he asked for them. 3 months into his banishment, the first visitors arrived, a squad of Krellian raiders in a military transport, coming down the ancient road from the dead zones. Krellians were known as brutal fighters, standing 8 feet tall with armored skin and multiple arms wielding weapons. Marcus stood at the gate with his single rifle. The cubs, now the size of large dogs, stood beside him. The Krellian leader, a scarred veteran named Grath, laughed when he saw them. "1 human and 3 pets? Step aside, exile. We're using this road to bypass Federation patrols. Try to stop us, and we'll paint the walls with your blood." Marcus didn't move. "This gate is under Federation protection. Turn back." Grath raised his weapon. The cubs moved. They moved faster than anything Marcus had ever seen, faster than the Krellians could track. Scout went low, taking out Grath's legs. Guard leaped high, knocking the weapon from his hands. Spirit hit him in the chest with enough force to crack his armor. The other raiders opened fire, but the cubs were already among them, moving like liquid shadows. Their fur absorbed energy weapons. Their claws cut through armor. Their teeth found weak points with precision. Within 30 seconds, all 8 raiders were on the ground, disarmed and bleeding. Marcus approached Grath. "The cubs are giving you a choice. Leave now, or don't leave at all." The Krellians fled carrying their wounded. They spread the word. The outer gate was defended by something unnatural, something terrifying. Don't go there. Don't test the human and his monsters. But others did test. Over the following months, mercenary groups, smuggler convoys, and even a small pirate fleet tried to use the abandoned road. The cubs, growing larger and more formidable each week, stopped them all. Marcus never had to fire his rifle. The cubs protected the gate with fierce loyalty, and their reputation grew. The cubs were no longer cubs. After 6 months, they were the size of bears, with intelligence that rivaled any sentient species. They had learned to set traps, to coordinate complex strategies, to use tools. They built warning systems along the road, planted sensors, created obstacles. The ancient road became a fortress miles long, with the 3 creatures as its unstoppable guardians. Word reached the Federation Council. Commander Vexal insisted it was impossible. Nothing survived in the dead zones, and certainly no creature could stop trained soldiers. The Council sent an observation team. What they found shocked them. The outer gate was no longer a place of exile. It was a thriving outpost. Marcus had rebuilt sections of the ancient fortress. He had established communication with neighboring systems using salvaged equipment. He had created detailed maps of the dead zones, discovering safe paths and valuable resources that everyone thought were lost forever. And the 3 creatures, now massive and magnificent, were recognized as a new sentient species. The observation team's chief scientist, a Velen named Dr. Sora, examined them with wonder. "Their evolution accelerated," she explained to the council later. "The radiation in the dead zones didn't kill them, it changed them, and the human's care, his protection during their vulnerable stage, bonded them to him completely. They see him as family. They would die for him." Commander Vexal demanded Marcus's continued banishment. He still disobeyed orders. The punishment stands. But the eldest of the council had different thoughts. Marcus Webb was sent to guard a dead road. Instead, he discovered a new species, secured a strategic location, and prevented countless criminals from using the dead zones as a hiding place. He has served the Federation better in banishment than most serve in reward, the council voted. Marcus would be pardoned, his rank restored, and offered a position as warden of the outer territories. The 3 creatures would be recognized as the first members of a new species, the Threshold Guardians. When the official ship arrived to deliver the news, Marcus stood at the gate with Scout, Guard, and Spirit beside him. They had grown to the size of small vehicles now, their fur shimmering with energy, their eyes showing deep intelligence. The Federation officer read the official pardon and the job offer. Marcus listened in silence, then shook his head. "Tell the council I appreciate the pardon," he said. "But I'm staying here. This is my post. This is my family." He placed his hand on Scout's massive head. "We guard this road together. We keep the peace here. If the Federation wants to make it official, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. We're not leaving." The officer was confused. "But you're free. You can return to civilization, to your career, to comfort." Marcus smiled. "I am free. That's exactly why I'm staying." The officer returned to the council with Marcus's answer. Vexol was furious, calling it an insult, but the eldest understood. "The human has found his purpose. Let him serve it." Years passed. The outer gate became legendary. Trade routes were established through the reclaimed territories. New outposts were built under Marcus's guidance. The three Threshold Guardians became symbols of protection and loyalty throughout the Federation. And no soldier, no raider, no fleet ever dared to challenge the gate again. Because everyone knew, the human at the outer gate had been banished as punishment, but he had turned exile into legacy. And the three creatures who guarded the road with him were not pets, not monsters, not weapons. They were family, and family protected each other to the very end. Commander Vexol, decades later, and facing his own military tribunal for corruption, was asked if he regretted sending Marcus to the outer gate. The old commander looked at the images of the thriving outpost, at the human and the three massive guardians standing watch over a peaceful road, at the symbol of hope they had become. "I sent him there to break him," Vexol admitted. "Instead, I gave him the chance to become something greater than any of us. Yes, I regret it. I regret not understanding what humans are capable of when you give them a purpose and something to protect." The outer gate stood as proof. Humans might be small, might be fragile, might be easy to underestimate, but they had something unique in the galaxy. The ability to find family anywhere, to turn desolation into hope, and to guard what they love with unbreakable determination. The human was banished to the outer gate. The cubs guarded the road, and no soldier dared pass, not out of fear, but out of respect for what they had built together in the darkness beyond civilization's edge.